Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 3 of the Fender ukulele bridge reattachment. You'll remember from the previous video I've removed the original bridge. I had reattached it and it's just no good, too small, so I've removed that. And I'm going to be fitting this new bridge. Now I have off camera already scalloped the ends. You'll see nice scalloping on the ends there, and kind of smoothed all the edges. I still need to do a little bit of fine sanding just to take the sharpness off the edges, if you like, but I can pretty much do that once it's attached to the instrument. Now putting these scallops in the end does make it a little bit more difficult for clamping, because obviously it's better to have a flat surface to clamp against, but it would be much more dangerous to try and do this scalloping once this is attached to the instrument, so it's much safer to do it before attaching it. And the way I did this is, let me just get one to show you. So I used one of these spindle sanders. The one I used was actually bigger than this one, and attached in my drill, which is attached in the drill stand. You can just see it there in the background, the yellow drill, and you can possibly just about see the spindle that's in there as well. So I attached this into the drill and the drill into the drill stand, fired up the drill, and then kind of worked this against it until I got to where I wanted to be. And I pretty much, I'd kind of marked each end where I wanted to stop, but pretty much did it by eye and by, freehand. And it's turned out pretty good, actually. I think it looks rather nice. It looks a lot better than it did before, when it just kind of came straight down like that. It does look a lot nicer like that. And I could have put an angle, one way or the other on this, but I just thought it was safer for a start and easier to do it straight. So once again, I'm just going to compare the two bridges, and you'll just see how much bigger it is in all dimensions. To try to get that to stick and hold about 100 pounds of tension at the same time, it's nearly impossible. This one is going to be much better. And I've also, in the previous video, I showed you that I'd marked out where the new bridge is going to go on the instrument, and off camera I've removed all of the finish in that area and kind of got it leveled out. And with the bridge in place, once I locate it into the groove, if you like, it doesn't move. It did then. It doesn't move. It stays where it is. You can see it's not moving. Unfortunately, I did go a little bit wide in places with removing the finish, so I am going to have to touch that in a bit. You can see very little, but there is a little bit of overzealousness in areas, so you can see the bare wood in places around the bridge. So once I've attached it, glued it, and removed the excess glue, I'll have to touch that in with a bit of wood stain. But in the grand scheme of things, that's a very minor detail. It's just going to look and work and sound so much better with this new bridge on. So I've made sure I've got this all nicely cleaned out and leveled, and if you look up close, it really isn't a bad job. And again, I did all that kind of freehand with one of these single edge razor blades or a scraper blade, and literally just scraped the finish off. So I barely, if any, took any wood off at all. Literally just scraping the finish off so that you've got bare wood for the glue to adhere to. So I've shaped the bridge, and I've gone over the back of it with some 120 grit sandpaper, but I still want to what we call tooth it, to give the surface area, give the glue something to grip to on the glue surface. That's not very good. 1 second. So what I'm going to do is just take one of these blades and just score the back of the bridge, going diagonally. It doesn't have to be particularly neat and tidy. It's just, as I said, to give the glue something to actually adhere to give it some grip. Okay, so I've kind of scored it crisscross like that. It's not cut into it; it's just scored, and you can actually feel it. So that will be enough for the glue to actually stick to. Just do a few more. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so I can feel that. It's quite a rough yet flat finish. I'll just lightly go over it with sandpaper again. This is, I think, I don't know, 240 or 320, just to make sure it's flat. Okay, that should be fine. Okay. So I did also off camera kind of dry fit this and clamped it up. So I'm facing the same problem as I did before about how to efficiently clamp it, and there isn't really an easy way to do it. Ideally you need to get a good amount of pressure when you're clamping a bridge on, when you're gluing a bridge on, to make sure that it's definitely, well stuck. But without one of these, but ukulele size, I mean this is a guitar one, well it's not actually meant for that, but it's perfect for it, but it's just too big for the ukulele, and I don't have any clamps. I've been meaning to buy some for weeks, months even, and I've just not got round to doing it, and I really should, and I really would have needed them for this application. So I'm just gonna, go with what I've got. So I'll be doing it the same as before. So I'll using that big wooden clamp to clamp from the end this way, and use a couple of these clamps to go on the ends there on the scallop, and I will put it so that this part is on the bridge and this underneath. The reason being, these kind of swivel and tilt, so that should compensate for the slant, where I've got the taper here. As I said, I have already dry fitted it, and it seemed to work okay. I'm just hoping I get enough pressure on there for it to actually stick properly. So next stage is to get some glue. Let's see, make sure I've got everything I need to hand. I want some leather pads. I did have some out already, but seem to have mislaid them. So I want some leather pads. I'll need 4 of those. And my 2 clamps. Okay, so no time like the present. Let's get on with it. Okay, so first I'm going to put some glue on the bridge itself. So exactly the same as before. Squeeze a decent amount on, but not too much. Get my paintbrush and even it out. So once again, as I said before, you have to have 100% glue coverage, but it doesn't need to be very thick at all. The most important part is that you get 100% of the surface area covered in glue, and that's more or less there. Perhaps just a drop more, not too much. Again, I want as little glue squeeze out as possible for minimal mess. Okay, that seems good. Right, and on the instrument as well. Again, not too much, but enough to make sure I can get 100% coverage. Might need a drop more again. No, actually, I think we're good. I will put a drop more on. Make sure I get right up to the edge. Okay, I'm making a bit of a mess at the moment, but I can clean that up easy enough. Okay, that's looking good now. Okay. I'm not happy with that glue on there. It looks a little bit watery, so I'm going to wipe it off and put some fresh glue on. It's just a little bit watery. Don't think it will stick too well like that. That's better. Obviously the glue is water based, and you can thin it down with water when you spread it, but it's best not to do that too much because it ain't gonna stick. That's better. Happy with that. Okay, let's get rid of that, get rid of the glue. Okay, so let's first of all put the bridge on, making sure we get it the right way around, and that will be a good start. Okay, so I'm going to just get it more or less in position and start to remove the excess glue. I'm just going to go around it with a damp paintbrush first. Okay, I need to get as much of that off as possible. Okay, that's pretty good. Actually, it's a shame my apprentice wasn't here with me today, especially when I removed the old bridge, because that's something that I want to train him to do, because that's something that's done quite often. So both of these processes, the removal of an old bridge and reattachment of a new bridge, it's quite a common job. I've done quite a few of them, both to my own instruments and to customers. So it's not an uncommon job, and it really is something that I would like him to learn. Okay, that's starting to look quite good. It doesn't seem to be moving around, which is wonderful. It's exactly what I want. And as I said, I just want to get as much of the glue out as possible now, because it's not so easy once it's clamped up. Just get a little bit of a damp paintbrush in there again. Okay, alright, we're looking good. Just make sure that's aligned where I need it to be. So every time I press down, a little more glue squeezes out, which is good in one way, because I know that it's making good contact. Okay. Right, I think we're looking pretty good there. I mean, it really isn't moving at all at the moment. Great stuff. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting the big wooden clamp in the middle. Yeah, I'm not happy with that glue residue on there. I'm just going to get a drop of water and wipe that off. It's quite difficult to clean it up once it's dry on this kind of finish, which is a matte finish really. It's quite difficult to remove dry glue residue off of it. And that's much better. Much better. Yeah, happier with that. Okay, so let's attach the first clamp. Now this is at this point that the bridge might move when I squeeze the clamp up. What am I sitting on? Wedge. Okay. Yeah, that's not clamped at all. No pressure on that. Just pull that down a bit. Not too much. What's going on there? Let's try that again. Doesn't seem to want to clamp. Let's just bring that in a bit. Better. I don't want to do too much, but I want enough pressure to actually do the job. I can go a little bit more. Yeah, that's about as much as I dare, as much pressure as I dare put on that right now. Let's see if I can clean up a bit more of the glue squeeze out. But as I said, once the clamps are on, it's quite difficult to get all the glue squeeze out. How's that alignment looking? Not too bad. Yep, I'm happy with that. Right, so now I want. Where did I put my big clamps? There we go. Okay. Let's just open that up a bit. So again, I'm putting the leather pads on both sides of this clamp to protect the wood as much as possible. Another one under there. actually putting the leather pad this side will also help to take up a bit of the angle on that slope. How does that feel? Yeah, I think that's as much as I dare go on that one again. Should be good. Okay, clamp the other side. Give it a bit more. Okay. Okay, that's about as much as I dare. Really don't want to be completely destroying this instrument at this stage. Let's see if I can just lift that up and have a look. Yeah, looks good. Just try and squeeze a little bit more. That's enough. That's enough. Okay. I definitely want to make sure I put enough pressure on there for it to stick properly, but just waiting for that almighty great when I go through it, which is not going to be good. Yeah. Really not sure. You see, they don't feel all that tight. But I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah, that's all I'm going to dare do for that. I do not want to break the top or the back of this instrument. Okay, so time's running out. So, okay, that's the end of part 3 of this little project. Now, provided that bridge sticks okay, which I'm sure it will then be a case of drilling the holes for the bridge pins. So the original bridge had the slots in the back of the bridge there. That's how the strings were held in on this bridge, but on this new bridge it has the holes for bridge pins, which I kind of like. I think they look good on a ukulele, and I also think I don't know why, but I think they kind of add some strength in some way as well, because the pins go all the way through the bridge and through the body, so the string goes through there with the bridge pin, and it just kind of, in my opinion, kind of holds it together. But we'll see. Okay, so once that glue's dried up, we'll be on to the next stage and we will see what happens there. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment, and try and show it to some of your friends, colleagues, relatives as well. We're running out of time, so I better call it a day there. So in the meantime, please take care. Peace out.